Hi, everyone. I am Dan Mason here with a new novella, The Plan That Never Was. Introduction. Washington, 1962. The Cold War was boiling just under the surface. Cuba sat 90 miles from Florida, and the Bay of Pigs disaster still stung the Kennedy administration. Inside the Pentagon, men in crisp uniforms and dark suits began to sketch the unthinkable. A plan to fake terror in America, blame Cuba, and justify an invasion. They called it Operation Northwoods. It would never happen. But the conversations that killed it were as tense as any battlefield. Chapter 1. The Room Where It Started. Pentagon, March 5, 1962. The air inside the secure conference room was thick with cigarette smoke. A long oak table stretched the length of the room, dotted with coffee cups, ashtrays, and stacks of classified folders stamped in red. Top secret. General Lyman Lemnitzer leaned forward, his voice low but firm. Gentlemen, we have a Cuban problem, and Washington needs a solution. Bay of Pigs failed. Castro's emboldened. If we can't move public opinion, the president will never authorize force. Adam. George Anderson flicked ash from his cigarette. You're saying we need a casus belli, and you've got one. Lemnitzer slid a folder down the table. Northwoods. Jenner Curtis LeMay chuckled. Sounds like a camping trip. What's the pitch? Lemnitzer's face was expressionless. Controlled acts of sabotage on U.S. soil. Civilian airliner hijack. Empty, of course. Sink a refugee boat in sight of our Coast Guard. Stage a bombing at Guantanamo. All traceable to Cuba. Make the people demand action. General David Shoup shifted uncomfortably. You're talking about staging terrorism against our own people. Not real casualties, Lemnitzer countered. We control it. We make it look real. Enough for the papers, enough for the networks. LeMay nodded slowly. And Castro takes the blame. Public will eat it up. The door opened. Brig, Jenner Edward Lansdale, the CIA's man for unconventional warfare, stepped in. Lyman, the optics are dangerous. We pull this and it leaks. Kennedy will hang us by our stars. Lemnitzer's jaw tightened. Not if the president signs off. March 12, 1962, White House Situation Room. Robert McNamara flipped through the proposal, his brow furrowing. You realize you're asking me to walk into the Oval and tell the president we want to fake terror attacks in Miami and D.C.? Lemnitzer's reply was measured. We're asking for the freedom to defend the nation. Cuba is a Soviet beachhead 90 miles away. McNamara set the file down. You'll get your meeting, but I'm warning you, he's not going to like it. The president's table. Kennedy leaned back in his chair, reading the summary page in silence. Finally, he looked up at Lemnitzer. You actually want me to approve this? Mr. President, the public needs a push. The Soviets are embedding themselves in Cuba. Kennedy cut him off. We're not discussing the use of military force dressed up as an attack on our own citizens. We're not. McNamara shot a glance at Lemnitzer. I told you. Lemnitzer tried again. Sir, the perception of a Cuban threat. I'm not in the perception business, General. I'm in the truth business, and you'll get me something better than this. The room went silent. Kennedy closed the file and slid it across the table. Northwoods is dead. Don't resurrect it. That was the end of it, or at least the end in the open. Inside the Pentagon, resentment toward Kennedy's refusal began to smolder. And in the months ahead, it would shape decisions and loyalties in ways no one yet understood. Please like and subscribe to learn more.